So, in this video, we're going to be looking at making a custom dice tray that can be used in any game that involves our beloved little click-clacks. Regardless of the game that you play, all of us have a collection of shiny little math rocks that we love, collecting and storing for the winter like a squirrel. And let's face it, if anybody tries to touch our little shiny math rocks, and we all know the personalities that they can have. If you're thinking, come on, dice don't have personalities, you just roll and get a number, then you, my friend, have not yet come across your first traitor dice. Anyway, regardless of whether you're rolling 1 or 30 dice at a time, rather than having them roll across the table, knocking into things, or going on an adventure, I wanted to show you how easy it can be to make a customizable dice tray, regardless of your artistic level. So the first thing we're going to need is the tray itself. Dice trays are everywhere. All you need to do is search online for dice trays and you'll come across heaps of options, from cheap to very expensive. But the problem is none of those actually bring your personality to the tabletop. Rather than search for blank trays online, I thought I'd go to my local knick-knack store to see if I could find any options that could be used as an alternative. And I came across this. Jewellery boxes that were really well made, had a good finish to them, were big enough to hold lots of dice, and were the right shape. All for £8, which is actually cheaper than anything I could find for a wooden dice tray online. Now most dice trays will come with a lining at the bottom to give that proper bounce and that signature sound. I was thinking about the different materials that I could use, such as felt, like I did with my first dice tray years ago, leather or neoprene, but none of those gave me a custom dice tray that reflected me or the game that I was playing. So I came up with a solution to solve both problems at the same time. Custom mouse mats. These are cheap, easy to order, and any image you can find online is something you can print, which requires no artistic skill whatsoever. Just googling custom mouse mats will give you hundreds of print-on-demand services that will give you the option for very little cost. Simply find the image that you want, drag and drop, adjust the colouring to match, and hey presto, job done. Well, mostly. One thing that you'll need to remember is that the size of the tray likely won't match the size of the mouse mat that you're ordering, so be mindful to adjust your image size so that everything that you want inside the tray will fit. In this instance, I know that my tray is 18.5cm by 12.5cm on the inner measurements, and my mouse mat is going to be 24.2 by 20.2. So in the design, I want to adjust the size of my image to make sure that it will fit in my tray when printed and cut to size. Another quick tip for any logos or designs that you might want is to find an image that's a PNG file type. Theoretically, this will mean the image has no background, and therefore you can customize the color you might want for your mouse mat. You will also want to make sure that the supplier that you're using doesn't have any minimum print demand, so that you don't have to worry about ordering 10 or 15 of them when you only want one. Once your order has arrived, the next thing we need to do is mark out our cut lines to make sure that the mat fits inside our tray. Now, we have a choice as to how we want to do this. Most jewelry boxes will come with dividers set inside, and it's up to you whether you keep any in to keep your dice separate. In this instance, I'm going to keep one divider in and remove the rest, just so we've got a separate space for our dice to be held. Now, the lid of my jewelry box fits inside the tray itself, and so I can use this to trace out a cutout pattern. Taking the dividers into consideration, I can then cut out the two sections to make sure that it fits inside my tray. Simply remove the other dividers and sand down to give ourselves a nice flat surface, and then we can begin to cut out the mouse mat. Remember, measure twice, cut once. Now a craft knife should easily cut through the neoprene mat, however make sure you make multiple light passes with the blade rather than pushing down to try and cut as much as you can at once. The mouse mat is made of multiple layers, so we want to make sure that we have a nice smooth finish to our cuts. Now once cut and test fitted, we can seal any frayed edges of the mouse mat with a little heat. Now please remember, when dealing with any blades or heat, please be careful and take caution, or seek supervision if required. And there you have it, a nice, cheap and easy customizable dice tray. Now whilst you can glue down the mouse mat inside the tray, I personally prefer not to, as this will allow me to then change out the design in the future depending on whatever game I'm playing, such as if I'm playing D&D versus when I'm playing Warhammer. Because of that, I can just switch out my design super quick. Now we've got a pretty good dice tray here, but if we want to take it to the next level, we could also stain the wood to whatever preferred colour that we like. Wood stain can be picked up from any hardware store and will give your tray a completely different feel to it. In my haste to get this video finished, whilst I was staining the wood, I made a slight mistake. You may have spotted it. I gloved one hand, but didn't glove the other. And that's what happens. Wear gloves on both hands. Damn it. Another handy little tip with these jewellery boxes is that most of them come with a mirror, like mine does here. You can use these mirrors to make notes using a dry erase marker if you wish. Things like HP, spell slots, objective points, anything you can really think of that you may need to make a quick note of. Now, let's see how they look on the tabletop. And that's it for another build. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you have a tray to dice? Or do you have one that loves going on an adventure, no matter where you rolled it? And also don't forget to click the like and subscribe button, as this is going to help the channel grow even more so to a much wider audience. And if you've enjoyed it, so will others. If you'd also love to help the channel even more, I also have a Patreon page that starts at just $4 a month. Now this will go a really long way in helping support the channel to create more videos to enhance your tabletop experience. The link to which is in the description below. Patrons get access to a bunch of benefits such as the Discord server, supporter showcases, monthly prize draws, and a heap of others. A special shout out to the channel producer Danny H. Your continued support means the world to me and I couldn't do it without you. Also a special thank you to all the other Patreon members as well. Once again, thank you for watching and don't forget to check out the other videos on the channel for more tabletop builds.